XRP and XLM holders, September 11th is going to be a massive day for all of us. Don't believe me? Simply watch the next few minutes and you're going to see why. You're also going to see why you should join us on the live stream tomorrow as the news breaks. Any other laggards that you're invested in? Things that suck balls price-wise? Well, I got good news coming for you.
Due to the graphic nature of this program, listener discretion is advised.
Happy Tuesday, everyone, and I've got good news for you. But before we get into the news, your comments come first. Glenn starts us off and says, just my opinion. I don't think crypto is going to be mentioned tonight. 90% of voters don't care about crypto. The main issue is cost of living and safe communities. I'd be willing to bet those two issues will be highly debated. Inflation and energy is through the roof. These are what matter most to voters. I agree with you, Glenn, but we're hoping crypto gets mentioned because crypto can swing as much as 5% of the vote. Manny Mean says, I can't wait for tonight. If anyone is interested in playing a game, you could take a shot every time Kamala does her laugh. If you play that game, you will be dead drunk within the first 5 minutes. I can't do her laugh. I tried. Not a patient person says, I'm selling my XRP so I can buy hamsters and toilet paper. I feel that I can triple my money selling both. Remember, TP was going for a premium during the pandemic and there's talk of monkeypox. So maybe not a patient person's got the right idea. But why is September 11th going to be so big for Xrp Xlm? Heck, any laggard in the market, I'm going to prove it to you here shortly, but let's hit that heat map first. Hit the like button too if you like what you're seeing. Bitcoin's in at 56,922. ETH is at 2345. Tons clawing its way back, but that's what happens when your CEO gets arrested. Sol's at 134. XRP at 53.7. Charles is still complaining that ADA hasn't left the launch pad. 34.2. XLM toilet paper. Well, it's 9.3 cents per XLM. Utility, I think not. All right. XRP, check it out. When was XRP hot? Between 2021 and part of 2022. When was XLM hot? Well, let's go to that and I'll show you. And I bet you it's between 2021 and 2022. What about ADA? Hot during 2021 and 2022? And you're like, Klaus, that seems very coincidental. I think not, my friends, because when was the Fed fund rate super low? Between 2020 in 2022 in that half. Oh my gosh, everyone, that's right. And what is the Fed fund rate? Okay, it's the cost at which people, businesses, banks, everyone borrows money, right? Fed rate goes up, you pay more for things. So if you want to develop a business, say a cryptocurrency business, it's costing you a lot more right now because you're paying more for interest. Let's say you're a venture capital company and you like investing in risky things like crypto. Would you rather invest when money is really cheap, or would you rather invest in risky things when money is really expensive? Of course, when it's cheap. So look at XRP, XLM. Yes, it all was moving when money was cheap because they're risky assets. And you're like, but Klaus, what does tomorrow have to do with that? Well, tomorrow is CPI data, ladies and gents. And if we get something juicy with CPI, that puts heavy pressure on the Fed to drop the rates 50 basis points. And you're sitting there going, but Klaus, this is only the United States you're talking about. Crypto is traded globally, and you are correct. But whenever the U.S. does something with their fund rates, okay, the rest of the world takes cue. In fact, there are a ton. Seriously, well over 20 countries, the last time I checked, and I'm talking about major countries, that as soon as the Fed does their fund rate, whether it's up, down, or pause, they do exactly the same. So when the United States sneezes, the world catches a cold. When the U.S. takes Viagra, everything's a pumping. That's how it goes. So Fed fund rate is coming up here in about a week. But CPI data is going to let us know if Jerome's going to be a good boy and give us 25 basis points, or if he's going to be a really good boy and give us 50 basis points. And with that 50 basis point hit, we would start peeling back the Fed fund rate, right? So for laggards out there like XRP, like XLM, like ADA, guess what? We get a cheaper fund rate, we can get these laggards to start pumping again. It's no wonder that those cryptos out there, these laggards, are following the Fed fund rate. And I wanted to share with you one thing here really quick, and let's zoom in on the chart for Stellar, okay? Stellar's been hanging out now at under 10 cents for a while. Wouldn't you like it to get back during the 40, 30, heck, even the 20-cent range? Of course you would. But the last time that happened was what, everyone? While the Fed fund rate was super, super low. See, the Fed fund rate is all about growth, building, and development, right? When these companies, countries, businesses, heck, even people like you and me, when do we want to grow? When money is cheap. When do you want to buy a house? When interest rates are low. When do you want to buy a car? When interest rates are low. When do businesses want to do some investment and expansion? Not when money's expensive and interest rate is high, but when it's low. So tomorrow is going to be the big report, or today if you're a naughty person and didn't watch it when this video comes out. So maybe hit the notification bell so you're one of the first to know, and hit the subscribe button so you don't miss out. But tomorrow's the date. So we're going to be guaranteed a quarter. Yep, we're going to be guaranteed a 25 basis point drop with about a 30% chance right now of a 50 basis point pump. A 50 basis point pump could definitely pump the markets tomorrow. Would there be a little bit of a pullback? Yes, because people would be worried. Hey, Jerome's pulling it back 50 basis points. Does that mean he overcooked the economy? And that all has to do with a weak jobs report. See, if jobs are weak, what does that mean? Well, crypto can't pump. And you're like, but Klaus, why can't crypto pump if jobs are weak? Because crypto is fueled by retail. And you ain't getting any regs this year because we're in an election season and no one's going to be doing anything in DC other than whoring themselves to get your vote. So that's why all the laggards, all of the ones you've seen here, your Avalanche, your ADAs, your DOTs, your XRPs, your XLMs, all of those laggards do better when the Fed fund rate is lower. And guess what? The pivot can come on September 11th with juicy CPI data. Give us something in the mid-twos, 2.5, 2.4, and you're going to get a 50 basis point hit. We get something in the threes, and oh man, Jerome might be stingy and only give us a 25. If at the freak chance Jerome says, yo, we're going to pause one more time, look for the markets to bleed heavy red. Why? Because that would keep money expensive for longer. And that's what I wanted to share with you. Look at this up on the screen. In August of 2023, you could see rates have been left there super high for a long time. Prices have been flat since that time. Prices have been flat since that time. Let's go check. Oh my gosh, in Cardano, prices have been flat that time. It's all about the Fed fund rate. I told you, and all you had to do was watch a couple minutes. And I know some of you out there are watching going, but Klaus, this can't be that easy. It is. It's all about risky assets, and a rising tide raises all ships. So as that Fed fund rate goes down, business, expansion, investment becomes less expensive. And crypto is crazy risky. And I know some of you out there don't believe crypto is risky, but boy, you got to get a little bit of reality check, because crypto is super. I'm going to leave that in. See, I messed up too. Crypto is super risky. So once that Fed fund rate starts coming down, 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 and don't look for the 50 basis point hit to be the savior. No, we need to peel this Fed fund rate back about 150 basis points. That should take us anywhere from, say, about a year to a year and a half, depending on how aggressive they cut back. Because if you remember, how did this all start? And when did crypto start sinking? When Jerome Powell raised the fund rate by 75 basis points, not once, not twice, but 3 times, tight butthole. Now, what does that mean? Maybe Jerome's going to be aggressive and drop it hardcore 3 times in a row. We'd only be so lucky, as the fear is if Jerome doesn't do something fast, we may have overcooked the turkey, squashed the economy. And remember, it's not just the U.S., but it's the rest of the globe taking cues from the U.S. I live in the United States, and I wish the United States did not wield such big power when it comes to financial news, but such is the case when you're the big kid on the block. But this big kid's got a lot of debt, and one way to get things turned around is by lowering the fund rate. So there you go. Join me on the 11th at 8 a.m. Eastern Time as CPI data will drop. I will be breaking it down for you so you can fully understand it. And for those of you wondering, why do I got my tongue pierced? My wife's never complained. Choo-choo, bitches.